Hey guys, Boris Less from BK Force. Welcome to our Forex Daily Technicals for 12/5/13. As always, trading foreign exchange equipment very carefully to understand all the risks associated with trading margin and to seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. All right, let's take a look at the charts and starting again with the euro, which just is unbelievably stubborn at this 35, 36, 25 zone. Keeps testing the low bound, keeps coming back up to the top bound. Of course, we have the ECB meeting, the big event in front of us. I think it's going to be a very interesting event. I mean, it's one of those kind of things that volatility is going to break one way or the other. If we can clear the 36.25s and we have a burst all the way out, possibly to 37 to the top side, and if we have a negative move here, then we could certainly give the 35s, and then it's 34.50 and ultimately 3400. That is a test to the bottom side. So either way, it really feels like tomorrow we're going to get a move one way or the other off this volatility compression move, as 36.25, 3500 is the range that gets moved around off the euro. Dollar yen also seeing a little bit of volatility compression here. And yesterday we talked about the fact that this 103.30 turn was very brutal. And until and unless it gets covered to the upside, the predominant force right now is that this is a top, operating as a top, and therefore the pressure is to the downside. We saw a little bit of that pressure today where we tested the 102s, but again got bought up as the buyers came in underneath here. There's probably still a lot of hope here that the NFPs are going to be relatively sound, that taper is still on board, and that we have a potential here to make a mount for the yearly highs above the 103.60. But for now, we're operating sort of in this very tight consolidated range, and if we do not take out at very minimum here the 103s tomorrow, and kind of leave ourselves very vulnerable to a series of lower highs, and pressure ourselves down towards the 101.50s, then a weak NFP definitely crushes us all the way out to 101s, possibly even down to 100 support. 100 is very stiff support. I don't think it breaks below that, but we certainly peak out here as taper delayed is taper denied, and that's what dollar yen begins to show. Flip side, if we can cover the 103s and more importantly cover the 103.30s, then the yearly high is really in view, and it's a potential towards the 105s as we start running really strong into the upside. This also, by the way, translates. Where's my euro yen? This also translates into euro yen, which has been much more, by the way, uh, correlated with risk aversion this week, with equities going up, going down. Risk of euro yen definitely starting to have a big correlative move against it. Not so much now as a yen cross, but really much more as a risk trade. But still, yearly highs at 140, very key numbers here, and a break here above. If you get positive yen flows, positive euro support, takes us all the way out to possibly 142. Breakdown here towards the 38s really also puts in a fresh top in euro yen, and then targets us right back down to the 36 level as this leg gets corrected. Last, let's take a look at the pound. Actually, we're going to take a look at the pound and the Aussie. The pound holding really quite well still above the 60, just below, basically the 63.50, 64 level. Still starting to consolidate. This 64.40 is a big operating top, but if we can overcome the top, again, it's kind of a situation here where overcoming the top is very bullish. We see 65, maybe even 66. 66, 66.50 is the next level of resistance from longer term charts, and that's where it stands as far as cable goes. To the bottom here, the break below the 63s really opens up a run towards a corrective run towards the 62s and pretty much seals the fact that this is indeed the top. So breaks of both ranges, I think, create pretty interesting continuation moves. And last and definitely least, given the trading activity yesterday, we broke this 90-50 support, which held for a couple of days. Very weak GDP numbers. And then I think we also have trade today. We'll see how that comes up. But the bottom line is Aussie really under a lot of pressure and came up. Of course, there were bargain hunters at 90. 90 is a pretty decent support level. The really big support level is 89. So if they're going to try and press it, they're going to probably try and press it into this double bottom, possibly for a triple bottom test, but certainly well worth watching. If we can break below the 89 80s, then 89.50 definitely comes into view, and of course the 89 hold on Aussie really becomes a very important support level. So that's how the day shapes up. Wishing you guys the best of luck. ECB is the big marquee event tomorrow, so everybody watch the euro for this final break, hopefully, of this incredibly tight range that we've been trading in for the last few days. Over and out.